Coming up on today's episode of the Space Update, Gabriel and I talk about what happened this week in space, such as Starlink, Blue Origin, and the HOP update. This is the Space Update. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. Welcome to the Space Update. This is our first episode. I'm Nathan, joined by Gabriel. Gabriel, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Time to tell you about what happened this week in space.
Yeah, so we're going to start out. A couple of Starlink launches happened. Gabriel, do you want to fill everyone on that?
Yeah, there was Starlink 28 and much more that happened recently. They all worked out well. Most recent Starlink 28, they set a new record with the fairing reuse. Although the booster was launched the second time, so not that impressive. Although they actually managed to 10 reuses of a booster. Awesome.
Yeah.
So happy for them.
I think the most was 8. It has been 9 update, right? 10 is the most they've done?
Yes. 10 as of right now is the most they've done, and they're planning on reusing that 10 booster. Hopefully for some more flights, because, yeah.
Again, so how long, realistically, they do have to refurbish these boosters. It's not like we just send them down, catch them, maybe we wash them, then we put in new fuel. They do have to refurbish them. How many realistically you think, without an engine swap or anything, could really go through? My guess is about 15.
Without an engine swap, probably around, I'd agree, around 15, although, the engines might need to be taken out to get refurbished.
Yeah.
Because that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Although Space Shuttle managed to do a lot without ever changing the engine. Or maybe, I'm not going to repeat.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I mean, that was a while ago. But moving on to our next topic, a little far away from Florida and the Space Shuttle and all of that, we're going to go to Texas, not Boca Chica, but to West Texas, about near Arizona, where Blue Origin launched another New Shepard flight. They did one in January, I think a couple of months back, so they've been really racking up these flights. Their suborbital launcher, the New Shepard. So suborbital means it goes to space, but it doesn't stay in space and go in any kind of orbit. Again, this is through the Amazon CEO, Jeff Bezos. So their goal is for space tourism. So the first flight's going to be, is it August or July?
I think it's July that they're going to do. They're trying for July, although obviously there's going to be delays in space, everybody.
Especially with the new rocket. But Blue Origin is good with predicting dates. They're not that far off on SpaceX. We're going to launch a rocket to space by 2021. That's not going to happen.
It's like saying, hey, we're going to launch a rocket in 2020 and 2021. That's what SpaceX says. Although Blue Origin's we already have this rocket, we're going to launch it
2 years from now.
2 years from now. It makes sense what they say instead of SpaceX what's the last time we had it in the past?
Yeah. So with that, they have 6 seats. And 5 of them are going to be by Blue Origin employees that are going to be picked out. But the 6th is going to be auctioned off, and the bids are so high right now. I wasn't going to buy it or anything. I just wanted to see how much the bidding. It was $3 million already, but so far these bids, we don't know who's bidding them. My guess is the person that's going to win it is probably not going to be someone that bids. It's probably going to be a university or something. They send someone up, they sponsor someone.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be $1 million the first time, but this flight, is going to really usher even more. We keep saying, space tourism, it's next, Mars colonization, but we're at the beginning. Soyuz has space tourism, all that. Let's move on to our next topic, talking about Mars, a little bit further away from there. Gabriel, what happened on Mars?
So obviously, the Perseverance landed a couple months ago. Yeah, February. And it's been doing work since then. Ingenuity has flown 5 times, although it did fly 6 times not so long ago. But there was a failure, an anomaly, and it actually survived. And shows how tough that little helicopter is. There was a navigation error glitch, and that caused it to spin out of control. Although its automatic abort system had it so that it landed perfectly on the Mars surface. There was video of it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in the edit, but about Ingenuity, there's not someone at NASA just standing there with a joystick being like, move it to the right. No, this is all pre-programmed 5 years ago in like Python and all that. They're like, all right, we're going to move one, because it's like a helicopter and it's pretty far away. There is a delay in communication, so...
About 7 minutes.
Yeah, so that could have already been dead by then, and we didn't know, but hopefully everything with that is going to be safe. And moving on to another failure, Rocket Lab's Electron, they kind of reuse their boosters, or try to, just like the Space Shuttle side boosters, where they would have a parachute. But what happened at that anomaly?
So on May 15th, running out of toes, an Electron launched, and right after first stage separation, the second stage spun completely out of control. The view of it didn't look so good. The booster, actually, they managed to recover the booster, but the people at Rocket Lab, I think they said that it was like a plumbing failure or something like that, and that's what the failure was.
Yeah, so we wish them well. Hopefully they've got so many flights coming up. They're leading the way in these small sat launchers, and they're not launching from the United States, they're launching from New Zealand. Moving on to our final topic and its own show. Welcome everyone to the Hop Update portion of this show. Gabriel, SN15 finally did what all the others could not. It landed. So fill everyone in that hasn't seen or knows what happened then with the SN15.
So not so long ago, actually, SN15 launched and landed. The first one to do so after SN8, 9, 10, and 11 SN8, 9, and 11 all
Yeah, because
crashed.
SN10, it landed, but about 8 minutes it just exploded. But they finally launched, they land. And it's not just going to explode randomly at any point, but they might retire it because they took it back in to the high bay. What do you think is going to happen with that? My guess is that they're going to retire it. I don't know, put it in some museum.
Well, it depends. Either they'll retire it and scrap it and use the pieces. That's what I think SpaceX will do. But if I were SpaceX, I'd like put it in a museum. And knowing what Elon Musk would do, he would try and refly it. Well,
Elon Musk would probably turn it into its own cryptocurrency. He would turn the pieces of SN15, the steel, into its own currency. Yeah. I mean, that thing is a whole big scam. But talking about what's next, there's SN16 and SN20. So you know how we went from SN11 to SN15? That was a big jump. They might go from SN15 to SN20, but they might have SN16, which is an exact clone of SN15, right?
Oh, yes. The same as SN15. So I don't think they jump right in. I think they do at least 2 more successful landings before moving on. Although I definitely think that they're going to scrap 19 and 18 as long as there's no failure.
Yeah, with SN16 or SN15. Because again, they might refly the 2 of them. But I mean, this is just a crazy world with this fully reusable Starship vehicle. And you've got Super Heavy. But can you fill some people in on it and what's going on with that?
So BN2 is not making a lot of progress. BN3 is making a whole bunch of progress. BN3 is the third variation. BN1 was scrapped and was taken apart. It was more of a pathfinder. And the job of pathfinders is to kind of like get to know what they're building.
Yeah, that was kind of like MK1, MK2, MK3. They don't do a static fire, they don't launch, they do a couple of hydraulics tests, but...
Yeah, they didn't even do that for BN1. For BN1, it was more like, okay, so how are we going to transport it? How are we going to weld it? What machine should we use for this? What screw? What type of drill? Like the tiny little things. To know how to actually build it. And so they scrapped it, and BN2, I think they're focusing a little bit more on BN3 than BN2.
But yeah, so BN1, BN2, they're all going to come together with that upper stage of Starship to form the first fully reusable thing with that. So the upcoming hops, they might happen, but it's time for the Boca Chica. And now it's time to look at our weather radar. So as of today, Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, it is not looking good. I mean, there's some passing through. I doubt they'll get anything done today. Again, about right here is Boca Chica. As you can see, if you don't know where it is, this is Texas. It's very close to Texas. It's very close to the ocean. And when you're by the ocean, you can get some nice views, and it's by the equator. But you're also going to get some rain. Now it's time for the 10-day forecast with Gabriel.
Thank you, Nathan. We are going to take a look at the 10-day weather forecast, and on Sunday it's going to be around 82, and we'll continue like around 82 and 83 for actually the rest of the week and up until Friday the 11th, which is all that we have here on the 10-day forecast. But it's going to be cloudy, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, and for those times, so hopefully we don't have a launch then because I want to see the launch. So, yeah. The winds are somewhere in 15 miles per hour. And, yeah. So, that's it.
And that was the weather report. Hopefully we see some launches coming up. We might have to take a delay on the live streams again. We wanted to do Kinnett X. It was seeable in our location, but we weren't there to catch it. So, again, thank you for watching the Space Update.